have to go back to Nasrec because Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, is taking the stage right now. Let's listen in.
Thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrades. Order. Comrades, order, thank you very much. Order, comrades, can you sit down? Comrades, thank you very much. Comrades, order, please. Ayihlale phansi bamba umthetho. Ayihlale phansi bamba umthetho. Ayihlale phansi bamba umthetho. Thank you, comrades, and thank you to the program directors, members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC present here, former leaders of the ANC Youth League in their different generations present here today. Comrades, it is a great day today that we have finally arrived at Nasrec to convene the Youth League National Conference. It is important for the life of this youth organization. It is a journey that started many years ago. And in terms of this process, it has been characterized by a number of challenges in terms of arriving at this point. Comrades, we want to thank all comrades who were given a task to convene at the different levels. Some of the comrades who were given a task have accepted with discipline when the ANC told them to step back. And there are many comrades who went with us through this journey, up until Comrade Tola. There are many. Comrade Joy, I want to thank her for a job well done. Comrade Joy, I want to thank her for having also accepted to step back. I want to thank Comrade Noneba also, who accepted to step back when she was asked to do so. The task to convene the Youth League, comrades, it has always been a privilege, not a right. And that task resides with the ANC. Today you have a responsibility of electing your own leadership. You cannot come here in this conference and argue about people who were appointed. You must come here and fight for your leadership. Or now was withdrawn and that decision will not be changed because that decision was taken by the ANC. You have a responsibility in this conference with all its imperfections to elect your own leadership. I'm happy to come to this conference with all the challenges to see the level of discipline. I have seen that there are others who still think that the ANC is still the ANC of the old. And they are still on the terrain of being loose and ill-disciplined. And comrades, I want to assure you, continue with your ill-discipline, but your time will arrive. We will not hesitate to deal with ill-discipline in the organization. If you have to hate us for that, that must be the case. We will never tolerate anarchy and ill-discipline in the African National Congress. The journey to come here, comrades, has not been easy. And I want to thank, besides the comrades I've mentioned, I want to thank members of the NYTT. We drew some of them from Parliament. Some of them, we got them in the organization, not deployed anywhere. And we gave them this responsibility. And it has not been an easy responsibility. And I want to tell you, comrades, we had to nudge, and then ensure that we arrive where we are now. And where we are, it has been very difficult. And we must observe this moment. As the ANC, we want young people to reclaim their own youth league. We don't want you ever to be convinced by the ANC or to be disbanded. Because this notion of disbanding youth league structures is politically problematic, comrades. Because it gives license to everyone who wants to run the youth league to appoint the people of their choice. The youth must decide their own leadership in their own conferences. And today is not the concluding process. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of that journey where we come from over the past 5 years. The youth of South Africa want leadership of the ANC Youth League. Comrades, there is no youth, there is no political formation in this country, I dare say, that has got the largest political youth organization like the ANC Youth League in the ANC. Nobody. I see them trying there and so on, but they will never match the ANC Youth League. I see them trying to form political youth organizations. They can never match the ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League is more than 60 years old. It was formed in 1944. It's not a youth organization, Yomafigizol. It is an organization that has gelled, that has matured with time. And it has faced a number of challenges. Now, comrades, we are gathered to fix ourselves. And to get out of here, with a sense of hope and a semblance of an organization. What may come out of this conference in itself will not be something that you can define as total perfection. But today we are starting a journey towards ensuring that the Youth League addresses the challenges that are faced by young people. What are the tasks of the youth today? The Youth League says it rallies the youth on socio-economic issues, and then it mobilizes them and nurture them for the African National Congress. Unapologetically, we are not South African Youth Council, we are the youth of the ANC. Now, what are the socio-economic challenges that face the youth? In education, the youth today are faced with a number of challenges which include academic exclusion. And I don't want to talk about financial exclusion, because you have championed and intervened in terms of saying to the ANC government, give us free education. And that is why we have seen leaders like Fasia, like Nompendulo, from our ranks, leading the struggle for free education in our struggle, supported by the South African Student Congress and the ANC Youth League in the trenches of South Africa. And you must never take that for granted. And that struggle, in terms of its finality and in terms of theorization and what must be done for free education in South Africa, the ANC Youth League must lead that particular struggle. We are faced with a big challenge today of a disengaged youth, unemployed youth, disengaged youth. Majority of young people are in the unemployed reserve. They drop out of school, they suffer from early teenage pregnancy, and of all those social ills. What is the answer to those problems? And we have said that the answer is National Youth Service. National Youth Service partially has been implemented, but not holistically. It has actually been implemented in snippets through learnerships and all of that. But the youth continue to toil, unemployed, with no hope. They are in the reserves of unemployment in their numbers in South Africa. Neither the learnerships can actually address their issues. The other day, comrades argued and said that EPWP must be defined as employment. We said EPWP can't be defined as employment in terms of policy. It is an intervention of poverty alleviation. So if you want EPWP to be transformed, you've got to research and give answers. Is it feasible in the context of our fiscus and the economic situation? The same as we have argued that this notion that young people who are finishing at school before they work, they need experience. We have argued in the ANC manifesto that must be done away with. And young people must be allowed to be employed without giving a prescription that they need to go for a particular period before they are employed. They must gain experience in the workplace. That is what we have said. The ANC Youth League is at the center of those particular struggles, to inform, to champion, and to lead. And lobby the African National Congress and its government to implement a holistic policy on youth development. That policy is not static, comrades. It is evolving. I listened to Fashia talking about a political in a political report, well-informed report, politically, characterizing what is before us. The question you must grapple with is, what are the tasks of the youth? And that struggle and that task falls squarely on your hands. I'm saying education, unemployment, areas of intervention. What is it that we need to do? You marched, comrades, some years back. You said economic freedom. And the ANC answered and said the second transition, when we turned 100 years, must be defined by the struggle for economic emancipation. The 2017 conference of the ANC, or the one before that, in Mangaung, said that this economic emancipation must be radical. Other people then took the slogan, economic freedom, and formed political parties around it. And then others now, I see they take RET. They want to form political parties around it. Those are policies of the ANC. They are in the strategy and tactics. And you said in that RET, in this hall, that what then defines radicalism? In terms of land, we said it must be expropriated without compensation. And that came from the ANC Youth League. And you need to be proud of that, because it is the youth of the ANC that made that particular contribution. The youth then went further and say the National Reserve Bank must be nationalized. You then said you must create a mining company. That's what you actually said. And the other day, we were looking at the post office and creating what we call a state bank. And I went to KZN province, and the comrades were making contribution in terms of the transformation of the post bank in the realization of this resolution of the state bank. These are all features of radicalism that were defined in the strategy and tactics, that in the second transition, we have attained political freedom. There is a necessity for us to accelerate economic emancipation of our people, radically so. So the ANC Youth League must be at the helm and at the center of that particular struggle. Comrades, we are done with the chapter of the NYTT. The NYTT could not lead this particular program. Only the Youth League leadership, with a program of action from this conference, will address and respond to these particular tasks. And that is what is important. The youth out there is not interested how we are fighting, who wants to be president. They don't even know some of the people you touting to be presidents. Because once they are elected, we've got to do a lot of PR. So the youth want to know what answers is the Youth League doing and responding to their challenges. That's what is important out of this conference. How difficult it is, but it is important to underline that particular point. And we have said, comrades, that in terms of the NYTT, that thank you, comrades, for the work that you have done. That is why the NYTT withdrew comrades from different structures of the organization. They were deployed by the African National Congress to lead this important task. In the process, some of them were elected in the ANC National Executive Committee in the last national conference here in Nazareth. Zuko Kodlimpi, Nongeba, Joy, you can mention them. They come from the ranks of the youth. You can mention Malusi Gigaba, the former president. You can mention Sithe Zigalala, the former Secretary General. I'm just mentioning that even those who are not here, they are represented in terms of the older generation, youth and all, because their presidents are here. It's only Lulu Johnson who could not make it into the NEC. The rest of the people who serve in the ANC NEC are young people of the ANC. The society is getting younger. the ANC is getting younger is reflected in the National Executive Committee. So why will anyone who's above 35 want to cling to the Youth League? The Youth League is for the young. Let them lead the ANC Youth League. Our role as older people is to give guidance to the youth and not divide them, and then allow them to talk among themselves. Yekani lento of despising each other, nifungelane, and then want to fight to the grave. Because in the process of that, you are going to lose very young, capable leaders of the ANC Youth League with a great future in this organization. Because if you cling to a faction just serves narrow interest. Because if you let go of the faction, you know in the open scrutiny, I may not survive. Because once these people put on the real specs, they start to think properly. I won't make it. Because this group I've got only sees me. And I will not be challenged by others. So the youth of the ANC must think about the future and at the same time embrace each other. And not differ to the point that you are inimical to each other. We've been very committed to this process to make it a point that this conference does succeed and that this conference does produce the result. But we knew that it will be a conference with all its imperfections. Comrades, we've got a mountain to climb. We've got a battle and a war to win. The first battle is to ensure that we implement renewal of the ANC. That's very important. The ANC that can be respected by the people of South Africa. That respect itself first and foremost. That espouses renewal within its ranks and at the same time get to be respected by people as the modern organization that South Africans can follow. You can't expect South Africans to follow an organization where it differs and then it hail insults to each other. Leaders, batsamaya maponopono, the conference say, leaders insult each other in a full view of the country. We were here having a national conference of the ANC. We had the differences of leadership. When the conference had to be opened, comrades were walking here insulting the national chair because they differed with the national chair. And then wabuya umandash. It doesn't matter, comrades. You can have a different view because we are a big organization. But you cannot define and become a defining feature that we equally become an anarchic organization. That comrades, when they have differences, they must climb on top of tables, insult each other, run down the organization, do as they wish. The ANC will perish faster than you think if that were to happen on a daily basis. It will be gone. That's why in our renewal, we have embraced things that are very painful. When you've got to see your comrade stepping aside, you know this comrade. You've been struggling with this comrade. He's your friend. He is accused about this and that. At the end, he gets to be arrested. The ANC says, step aside. You put feelings aside. You think about the organization. Because the people of South Africa, that's what they want from the ANC. The ANC that decide. The ANC that act. The ANC that become a model for generations to come. The people of this country, that's what they want. And this renewal is not going to be easy, comrades. It's going to be very difficult. I was in China with a group of comrades, and the Chinese, they explained to us how far they've gone to renew themselves. And they too, in their history, they've actually had difficult period in terms of the Chinese Communist Party. To the point today, when you are corrupt, you are deployed by the Chinese Communist Party, they are harsher than everyone against the leadership of the party. So the ANC is not even near to that. So the renewal process we are embarking upon, it is going to be about that. Majority of you here, comrades, you are leaders of the ANC in your branches. I was saying to comrades of the NYTT, Malusi knows this as my president. When we led the Youth League, we were purists. We didn't lead knowing very well that on the other side, I'm a chairperson of a region, or I'm a member of the PC, I'm a member of the REC. We were Youth League pure. We went to a conference, you lose, you go back to your branch. The only thing that will chuck you out of the Youth League is the age. But today, you are advantageous. Yeah, I'm sitting with branch chairpersons. I'm sitting with RECs. I'm sitting with PEC members. When you lose here in this stage to become an NEC member, you know you go back to your REC position. Kokololo. Nothing has changed in your life. So why do you delay young people? Because we're now grandmas. And besides, your age has come. And the ANC has given you an opportunity to lead. You know, when we elected and the Youth League was disbanded, and I want to apologize to Comrade Colin, and I want to repeat that example. And Malusi knows this. Because the ANC gave us a task to convene the Youth League National Conference. I was there myself, Malusi, and Natim Ted. I was the convener, Nati was the coordinator. We convened the Youth League. It is that conference where Lamola got so angry and he could not recover anymore. And Lamola is a very capable cadre. You see him. He's rounded. He's an advocate, well educated. He was a deputy chairperson. He was a deputy president of the Youth League. He was contesting in that conference. And then there was Lisigo Makube. And both Lisigo and Lamula did not raise the numbers. And Colin, wangene baleka pa kula conference. And me and Malusi, we had a different view. And Nati had a different view. But our mandate was to deliver the conference, which we did. I presented a political report in that conference that elected Comrade Colin. In that conference. And then that conference elected, as much as we did not agree with a number of things, but we understood our mandate. I'm saying it now in front of the Youth League president, Umalus, because most of you are used to gossip on Facebook. Because Facebook comrades will never build the organization. I must tell you that. Organizations are built on the ground, not on Facebook. So that one you must understand. Facebook will never build. Facebook will destroy the ANC. WhatsApp groups will destroy the ANC. If it was according to Twitter, ANC will be out of power now. Because everybody on Twitter hates us so much. And then when you put a poll there, you say EFF, ANC on Twitter, they say 100% EFF, ANC 10%. You realize most we would have long lost power. Twitter. If we were going with them, we would have lost. Now you ANC members are not on Twitter. You are on Facebook, you gossip about the organization. You are on WhatsApp groups, you insult us there. And then you are not fighting the battle where it is fought. The battle is fought on Twitter, defining the battle of ideas in this country. Where the country must go is defined by trending on Twitter. ANC members are not there because other political parties are there. Tina CPC Facebook. That's where we are. ANC members are banning the Facebook shame. We are many there. I don't know whether it's affordable or what, but we are many there on Facebook and on WhatsApp. Comrades, there are many challenges that I want to tell you about this process. This Youth League conference should have said a long time ago, and they did not. Because every time it must sit, comrades will differ, whom we send to the NYTT, among themselves. When the time nears what the conference must do, they will go to the leadership of the ANC and canvass it. It must actually come after elections. Even now, there's been big mobilization that this conference must not sit. And I told the NYTT, I said, if you win, some of you, that this conference does not sit, but all of you, you must know you are gone. You'll never come back. You are gone because we appoint, and you are postponing the autonomy of the Youth League. Because this Youth League, nizawuza apa nizondithuka every day. Mbalula lendu yenzayo ayilunganga. Because I am actually given a responsibility to oversee these processes. Next week and next week is the Women's League. Bayalwa nabo. We will be here. 2 days ago, I met with Sanko. When I met them, some of them are forming a political party. A couple of days ago, I met with Kosas. Bayalwa nabo. Abanye babadala, they no longer qualified to be peoples. But they still call themselves Kosas. Indodenda halanje. Epase umetrik is busy Kosas. Non-stop. And you must accommodate them here. Nifuneka nibafake laba kokeli Youth League kuma PC. They are talented, these Kosas comrades. Nibafake bakokele. Yes, they are young. Where do you want them to go? From Kosas Youth League. And then the other one is SASCO. I arrived there, there are two structures, they've taken each other to court. And here's the SASCO Itatapi Malioye court. Students. They take each other to court. They take each other to court. Now, you comrades, you blame leadership of the ANC. Hey, leadership, you know, you are meddling. If I can show you my phone, how many people are requesting from me to be in the NEC? I said, comrade, I don't decide. I may look like, but I don't decide who must lead the Youth League. I told, yeah, let me tell you, the last time I got involved about who must lead the Youth League is Julius Malem. That's the last time. This time, yes, I'm Navalo, man. Because the new Louis was doing SG. So, ndizabenditenga ntoni kubani. Kukwabantu abakhuluma ngo-2027. Hey, comrades, nganiyeke u-2027. Ukude kabi. Ukude kabi u-2027. It's very far. Kukhona abantu mabangibulisa. But Comrade Mbalula, the future. The SG and the future. If I were to listen to those people, I will never do my job as SG. Because the fairly upper with the hope that I'm going to be president in the kingdom, Zuma Shatil. And that is not going to happen. Because that must happen through the structures of the organization. And two, there are people who are sitting here with hopes that Ramaphosa will not finish his term. Hey, now, colleague, fireworks, Mauban. answer report ya public work, ya public protector. Abathukisi man. I've never been a person who's so hated this morning like the public protector. Now, if you disagree with the public protector, what do? You go to court. You don't insult her because she's a woman, because you expected her to agree with you. You put the facts before a judge and challenge the outcome. That's why the decisions of the public protector can be reviewed. Isn't it? That is the law. So when you attack and even insult the public protector because he has given a verdict that does not favor you, because where you sit with the facts that you have, I don't know whether some of them went to the public protector to give the facts. Because the only person I know who gave us this thing, it is Arthur Fraser. I don't know what he told the public protector for the public protector to arrive at the conclusions he has arrived at. And as the ANC, we are very happy that our president has been exonerated by the public protector. Should anyone stand against that or think that there is anything untoward in the report, we think that it is within their right. But we will not, because these things must be defined by consistency. It must be consistent. You can't say this one must be respected, the other one must not be respected. You know, Mkhwebana's decisions were taken to court, and I've lost count how many court cases she lost, and how much money she's got in a bank to pay for all the cases she has lost. But we as the ANC, we have never said the public protector must actually be dealt with otherwise. We have respected that. And there are processes now that are unfolding in Parliament. And those processes must be respected, and they must be concluded in relation to the public protector. So what we say is that the public protector must be respected. And Comrade Mzwandile Masina yesterday, addressing the press conference, explained our position succinctly, that the ANC welcomed the report of the public protector. We as the ANC, we are defined by one thing: the respect for the rule of law. Even judgments that are against us, that don't favor us, they are always underlined by the respect for the rule of law. We respect the outcome of the courts, but nonetheless we'll take them on review. We don't attack judges personally. Of course, there is a period in time where comrades attacked judges personally, and we called order. The judges are not demigods. You can differ with them, and their judgment will also be challenged in a court of law. And that is why you've got recourse up until the apex court in this country. But the rule of law teaches us that we must respect the organs of the state. And the ANC cannot be at the helm of eroding the power of the state and undermining of the rule of law. If anything were to apply, or our president were to be found on the wrong side of the law or anything of that sort, and then he's got an answer to in a court of law, the ANC has got its own processes. There is no challenge with regard to that. Before, we did not have that. When things were happening, we did not have how we respond to an ANC comrade who is arrested and accused of this and that. How do we respond to that? We did not have. It's only in 2017, here in Nazareth, where we formulated an approach. And the Renewal seeked us to strengthen that particular position. We never had integrity commissions in the ANC. We never. We've got them now because of the of the renewal processes of the ANC. So I'm saying, ANC members, disabuse yourself of rushing for positions ahead of time. We've got a battle to win, we've got a war to win in this country, to go to our people. Fasia talked about intervention in terms of electricity. That is facing our people. And when people look at us, they are in Nazareth, they are fighting. Why would young people fight with their lives for a position and not find each other? You need to find each other, comrades, in terms of the conference and its leadership. It might as well happen that others, you will not agree or whatever that it is, but do not fight with the conclusion that it is a alpha and omega. It is do or die. It can't be do or die. It can't be do or die. And the ANC guard these processes, look at them, and then attend to them, correctly so. We have now arrived at the conference, and the conference will make a determination about its way forward in relation to all the aspects of this conference. We don't have much time. We have lost time in terms of registration. And at headquarters, I can assure you, we are going to work to ensure that never again, even our national conference had to be postponed. We had it on digital platforms because we could not finish. Why? Because of registration. We must finish these processes and be able to manage our things like a ruling party meticulously. And I want to thank the media, which is something that we don't do all the time, not because we are newsworthy. I know we are newsworthy. Because in this conference, they expect to go. So they want those news. But I want to thank you for being with us throughout till late and even this morning in terms of this conference. That is the importance that you attach to this conference of the Youth League. And I can assure you that it has not been an easy process. It has been a difficult process to get to this point. I now came to this conference. We've got a bilateral with the South African Communist Party today at Luthuli House. The president will be here tomorrow. We've got a bilateral with the COSATU on Sunday. What are we discussing there? Today we discussed the state of the NDR with the Communist Party. And we also discussed the reconfiguration, which is a document of the Communist Party. So those are the two things we are discussing. And in the next coming weeks, we'll be having a National Executive Committee. What is that National Executive Committee going to do? It's going to look at the ANC manifesto. How have we performed since we have been elected in government? Because everybody says the ANC is underperforming. And I want to believe we are judged on one issue. And we must not be defensive where we have failed as a party. That is the nature, and that is what has made South Africans to believe in the African National Congress, to admit in its own failures, and with the determination to overcome them. So in the next 2 weeks, we will examine this question and give answers, not propaganda. Because we are judged now on one issue, which is load shedding. How the economy has performed. You all know, comrades, we had COVID in this country. COVID has taken 2 million jobs at a go within a very short space of time. We are navigating through those challenges. The global economy itself has not been responding well. Now we are faced with the biggest challenge of Russia-Ukraine. And that's why we have said there, we are non-aligned. I've heard Fasia what she says. She's a diplomat. Young people must not be diplomats. And don't apologize for thinking. Uve umtese platforming, Comrade SG, I want to apologize. Why do you apologize? Just talk. We will tell you how far you can go.
Until we go over the line.
Just talk, it is open. But don't talk about ANC problems and think that is politics in public. Talk about the revolution. If the ANC you think is selling out on the revolution, who is going to tell us if the Youth League is not going to tell us? Khalima Mutlante says the ANC Youth League is a necessary irritation. When you irritate us about what you say, hey, what are you saying? It's a necessary irritation. That's why you were formed. The Youth League is about that, comrades. And that is what we expect from our Youth League. And the Youth League must be molded and be supported in that regard, in terms of preserving its autonomy. Not this thing of preserving positions for pals, for friends. Because my friend can't make it. And then Namdi Mbalula, because in 2027, the Funuba is president, so my friend must be elected at all costs, at the expense of the organization. What rubbish is that? We can't allow that. We must divide the youth here, because my chances of making it in the list are dependent on these people, so that I can be an MP. So this Youth League then is a scramble for power. Cannot be. The MPs of tomorrow of the ANC are going to come from you. I told the NYTT, they are going to come from them. There's nobody except them. That's why we must pay particular attention to our development, starting with the SG. So we must go to school and study and have degrees and celebrate education and make it fashionable. That's what is important. We can no longer celebrate mediocre, because I can tell you the youth of this country are not going to follow mediocrity. They are no longer. When you are a leader, you must pay particular attention. When you are a member of the ANC, you must pay personal attention to your own development. So that when we call you and say we deploy you, comrade, which we don't apologize for that. You must say, na SG aginyaki ntwe ya diposo. Kinyaka uba DG. Ka uba kinali di masters tsa ka ntatekile sekolo. Kinyaka umata. You must not be apologetic about that. And then utsamaya urapela the comrade unana or wetsetswa favor. If you do that, everybody will think is making a favor. You will become a voting cattle in the conference. And comrades, I want to thank you delegates. There have been a number of disruptions at the voting registration, but the majority of you have conducted yourself patiently and with discipline. And it does not mean that you don't have issues, but you understood that you came to the ANC conference. And I'm going to ask you, comrades, you must be disciplined and work diligently, because you've got to cover time for this conference. You've got to cover time for this conference. You have been very patient. You stood by in the cold, and you were there. Now you are adding to the list of the Western Cape. But the Western Cape is leading. Last week we had a conference in the Western Cape. I've never gone to such a peaceful conference of the ANC. But comrades differing, including about leadership, who must be elected, who must not be elected. I opened that conference, the president closed it. There was no single incident of anarchy. In that conference, one comrade had issues about step aside. I told him that this is the position of the organization. And I wrote to him that you need to step aside, it stays. And when I look at the hall, this comrade had support. He would have made it with flying colors. But that comrade, I want to respect him today in this platform, as I repeat for what I said in Limpopo last week. Because he said, Comrade SG, I'm not going to delay conference of the ANC because of any other matter like that. I accept what you explained to me, and then I will not contest. He did not contest. And he's a very capable comrade. I've known him for years, personally. And it was difficult for me to convey that message to him. But now I'm Secretary General. I've got to speak. I've got to be the bearer of good and bad news. And most of the time, comrades, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news because our organization is not in a good state. And I reckon that most of you may not like what I correspond on behalf of the organization. When the president reshuffles cabinet, he only calls those people he wants in his cabinet. Those he has chucked out, he said, SG, you must call them. Now I must call a comrade and face this comrade and say, Jonga Mhlekazi, you have done very well, but you are not coming back, and we wish you well. And the organization still think highly about you. Didi, yo. Now, this is what I signed for. So if in the Youth League, I come and comrades believe that SG, and some of the comrades I know, and even in the last conference who supported me, were at the helm of saying, Mbalula must be SG. You must understand one thing, comrades. I was elected by conference to lead you, all of you, even those who did not want me. So today, I'm the Secretary General of the ANC. Even you, even if you supported me, I cannot bend rules for you because you supported me. I must actually act very hard against you who supported me so that ubone kahle ukuthi sichinchile izinto. Ukuthi le ndoda, if I was electing him to make him my lecky, that is not going to happen. We are now in the position where we've got to lead. And I want to thank comrades the respect you accord to the organization. It's not Mbalula. The respect you accord to the ANC, the engagement. It's been very difficult. Some of the comrades complain to me about this and that, the conference, and they leak these stories to the media. No, this conference is illegitimate and all of that. Utola, I wrote him a letter. I told him, Ukuti, khotla kancane. He now goes around and says suspended. He's not suspended. He's not. I said to him, the right you have been given to lead here is not the right, it's a privilege. We can withdraw it. And then I told him that that thing cannot even delay the Youth League conference because you are not elected. You were appointed. We can withdraw you anytime. The same as we did with Nongeba, we did with Joy. We can do it even with the NYTT. Because some of them, they put their hands. They are not helping this process. Ngabo nabo aba baxelela ama branch ukuthi no uMbalula makafika apha ngitsuleleni. Because they are given a task. No, I'm saying it, comrade, you can differ with me, but I'm telling you. Yes, you've got a right to differ, but I'm telling you. You can differ with me, but the truth you must know. Now, I am saying to you, comrades, this conference is not a Mbalula conference, it's not anybody's conference, it's a conference of delegates. Now, we are surrendering to you, delegates. We are surrendering to you that here is your organization, take it over and run it. We're surrendering. And that is what we are doing here today. And it has been a very difficult journey and a very painful one. For a number of years, we have journeyed with you to come to this point. So we want to thank you, comrades, for your determination to get to this point, and at the same time, with all the difficulties, for all of you, for having endured all the time to have arrived at this particular point. So, here we've deployed NEC members. They've been mentioned, others will join. We have deployed them to work for the overseeing of this particular conference. So they are here to ensure that we go to, we have a successful conference of the ANC Youth League. And comrades will be guided and accept that guidance properly. And the conferences are run by rules, and I suppose we will actually observe those particular rules. There's not been anything personal with anybody. You've got a great future in the ANC, and you still have got a role to play, some of you, and like most of you are now leaders of the ANC in your own name and right. And we appreciate that. As we come here, we have lost a number of comrades because of COVID. We have lost a number of comrades who were in leadership structures of the Youth League. Some of them have been killed through violent acts in different provinces. Some of them, we have lost them through accidents. And they are not here to witness us reconvening here at Nazareth. And after that, comrades, I think it will be befitting, before I conclude, that we stand up and observe a moment of silence for all our comrades who have lost, who are members of the Youth League, who would have been here with us here today to witness and to participate in the processes that conclude this conference. And I'll ask all male comrades to take off their hat as we take a 1-minute observance of silence. Amandla, awethu, comrades, our international guests that I think will be introduced as the time goes on. You are welcomed here. But thank you very much, comrades, and we wish you a very successful conference, robust conference of the ANC Youth League. And I wish all the comrades who served in the NYTT great future in the ANC. Ningadinwa. Even tomorrow when we call you for other tasks in other provinces in the organization, please respond positively in that particular task. For comrades who are young, who are going to still journey on this path of the Youth League, all the best. I can assure you, comrades, anytime, any moment, any given day, Luthuli House is there for you. We will listen to you, we'll support you. As young people of the ANC, Malusi is here. As a former president, Fikile is here. As the former SG, Comrade Lulu Johnson is there also for you, and many other veterans of the Youth League. Omzwandile zi amper presidents, ningabathathi serious. Umzwandile azange nditsho ayigqibe neterm ye-NYTT. You know, stories comes one delay is very important. Comrades came to a conference very ready ukuthi bazonyula uPule Ntuli as the Secretary General. Mzwandile was bowing out of a conference. Mzwandile was told at the doorstep, equipodium, as serious. Ukuthi inkomfa iyaqhuba ukuthi ayikho lentsomi uyiqhubayo apha. This thing must start afresh. And then it must be turned into a consultative, whatever that it is. Mzwandile and his team, they accepted because they were interim. They never fought with the leadership about that. Because Mzwandile was over age. Anyway, so he was not contesting to be president. The person who was contesting was Pule. That banano Pule bomvu. That emtakamabi kwenzakala ntoni wathi ndiqhuthwa inkomfa sendiyithathile. These things do happen. Don't take them to heart. Don't take them to heart, Comrade Xola. Ungasithathi kakubi. Ziyenzeka ezi zinto. And ungavumi ukuthi xa uxelelwe ngumbutho ukuthi kuyiwa le wena uvule yakho ipotsoyi. Ungayenzi loo nto. Izakulimaza. It will injure you heavily. Because lenginginya ngomvulo izabe ingekho. Sizawubuza wena ukuthi comrade sikuxelele lento wena wayenze yakho. Ngoba comrade akomntu uzabaphinde enze into angaphenduli. I can assure you that people will answer. This thing here, where there was being insulted by people who were not even delegates in the conference of the ANC, is business as usual up to the next conference. Kuthukiswa nje enkomfeni, there was no order. It cannot be. Conferences are there for decency, for engagement, and for comrades to conduct themselves in a disciplined fashion. Other comrades say on Facebook, silinde suspension. Disuspend abantu. Disuspend abantu. Dienzo inhlekisa ndingunobhala we-ANC. Andingunobhala we-UDM, ndingunobhala we-ANC. Ndikhethwa zii-delegates more than 4,000. I will never cower to anarchy. That must be clear. I will never. Soze divume ene i-anarchy andizi. Not coming. I'm not coming to anarchy, comrades. This is your ANC. You must defend it. Siyinhlekisa apha phandle utheyiswa karuna. Hlekiswa ngathi. Must never allow that. We must conduct ourselves in a particular manner. I come to tell, I come to ngazumanyela. I come to chonjalo. Comrades must be listened, they must engage. Bamanyelwe kuthathwe izigqibo. But we are not here to theorize forever. We don't have that time, we don't have the money to do that. You are delegates, and you must listen to me. You are delegates. This conference is in your hands. Now you can carry it. We have carried it till this far, and you must continue. Thank you very much, Delegate. So, I wish you well, comrades, and I wish all members of the NEC to work with you diligently in this conference. But Comrade Mzwandile, Malusi is not deployed. There is an invite. Mzwandile, Mahlobo, nabanye abakoyo up, ndikhona ndisaya kulanda Communist Party but ndikhona. Xa kukho into ekufuneka ziphendulwe on behalf of the ANC, ziphenduleni ma comrade, nifumene report nengxelo. Niziphendule kule conference kwezi delegates. You must answer whatever that comrades want to ask, but it must not be for long. We must go and conclude. and then we move ahead with the conference. Malusi knows that our conference in Siabuswa, 1991, was very volatile. Kwakunzima, the heat, bekuchisa, namhlanje kuyabanda. Kwakuchisa kakhulu, where we elected Peter Mkaba as the president of the Youth League and Rapulani as the Secretary General. And it was very tough there. So I want to thank you, comrades, for your behavior, and I wish you all the best, and then conduct yourself very well, and we love you all. Thank you very much. Amandla! Awethu! Matla! Aruna! Raw Young Lions, raw! Raw Young Lions, raw! Raw Young Lions, raw! Zoithola kanjani? Uhlele khoneni? Uzoithola kanjani? Phatha ANC, phatha! Phatha ANC, phatha! Khokela Ramaphosa, khokela! Khokela Ramaphosa, khokela! Khokela Mashatile, khokela! Khokela Mashatile, khokela! Khokela Mantashe, khokela! Khokela Nomvula, khokela! Khokela Marupini, khokela! Khokela TG Ramukupa, khokela! Amandla! Phakama Youth League, phakama! Phakama Youth League, phakama! Ayiphile Youth League, ayiphile! Salute.